This is a thought I had fucking this weekend while I had some mushrooms and smoked a lot of pot. Talking with Topher, episode 28. If you're a new listener, remember to hit the subscribe button. If you're a long-time listener, make sure you hit those like buttons if you enjoy the videos. I appreciate everybody who subscribes, watches, listens, and remember to comment. Comments are super important. They drive this thing to the top. So please keep the comments coming. I appreciate everybody who gets involved, and I appreciate all of you. So thank you. I wanted to start there. It's been a great week. Not too much going on, which is always a good thing. It was a bit of a crazy weekend. The weather's cooling down. We had an amazing day on Saturday, probably the last one we're going to see of the year. But it was like 76 out, and it was beautiful, and it was a great wedding I was at. My brother-in-law got married, so it was a really good time, and the weather was just perfect. You couldn't ask for anything better. And then there was a baby reveal party that I went to. I'm going to get into it a little bit, but don't take this to heart, and I'm not poking fun at anybody. I'm not saying that if you feel a specific way that you're wrong. But I found it funny because I got there and, everybody's wearing team pink and team blue. I got asked what team I was on. And I said in a joking manner that, I don't pick teams. And it's 2020. How dare you put me into this box? naturalbossnh.com. naturalbossnh.com. I love this website. I get all my hand sanitizer from this website, and now they have a brand new salve. And the reason that I love it is because it works. And when something works, you got to use it, right? So get on down to naturalbossnh.com and get your hand sanitizer. This stuff is amazing. It's just great. I use it every time I get into the car after I've been in a store. Anytime I've touched anything, shaken a bunch of hands, say at a wedding or something like that, I carry this stuff on me and I use it. It's amazing, and it helps defend me from COVID. It's going to help defend me from the flu, and it's going to keep my hands nice and clean and moisturized and not feel like I have a sticky chemical on my skin. Their brand new salve is amazing, and as much as I do, winter is right around the corner, and with winter comes dry skin, and with dry skin comes discomfort. And if you don't want to be discomforted this winter with dry skin, then you need to get your hands on some of this salve. It's great. I use it on the hands. I use it on my elbows. I use it on my neck. Anywhere where I get dry skin and I get those sharp pains from those cold mornings, that's where this stuff comes in real handy. Go to naturalbossnh.com. That's naturalbossnh.com. Get your hand sanitizer or your salve or both today, where I have to choose a side. And it got me thinking. I was like, well, we always do that, don't we? As a society, as sports enthusiasts, we get on a side. We pick a team, and we stick with that team. And whether the team is right or wrong doesn't matter. That's not important during this conversation. But people get on a team. They get on a side. They have a view. And then they want to have other people see those views and be on that team. And if you're not, you're considered like a bad person. And that's why I made a joke out of it. I was just like, it's 2020. You can't put me in this box. I don't need to pick a side. I don't want to be on a team. And then I was like, I bet you it doesn't matter what gender it is anyways, because how can you make a gender choice for a child who hasn't made the choice for themselves yet? Just a joke. And everybody thought it was funny. But it just got me thinking that it's true, right? It's 2020. People are changing their minds about things a lot, the way we do things. And one thing that came up with the gender reveal party, that when I was speaking of it, saying that I was going to it, a lot of people were like, better have a fire extinguisher, stuff goes down. I mean, that's how California fires got started, right? So I made the joke. I thought about it. The party was great. The party went great. We all had a good time. It was super safe. There was only a piñata. Everybody pulled strings on it, and the pink confetti came out, and it was a great day. It was a great day. It was a little chilly out, but it was a perfect day. So it just brought me to think about how we do put ourselves into teams and on sides, and we pick this stuff. Do we need them? Do we need teams? Is my question. Are you looking for a new vape shop? Well, good, because I got one for you. It's called New Hampshire Vape Gallery, and it's located in between Home Depot and Smoke Rings on 180 Lafayette Road in Seabrook, New Hampshire. This vape shop has everything. We've got all your disposables. We've got brand new devices. We've got juice. We've got everything you need. We're a one-stop shop for all your vaping needs. These new devices are amazing. I got the Nord X with the digital screen. I've got the RPM2 with the color digital screen. The vapor production off of these is amazing. Check it out. So as you can see, these devices are great. They work great. I use them myself. It's helped keep me off of cigarettes for 7 years now. It's one of the best things I've ever done for myself. I go running now. I breathe much better. And just overall, I physically am better than when I was smoking cigarettes. So if you are looking to get into a new vape, or you're looking to get into vaping, period, come on down to New Hampshire Vape Gallery, located in between Home Depot and Smoke Rings on 180 Lafayette Road. We're open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 8 p.m. You can give us a call, 603-814-4171. And again, that's New Hampshire Vape Gallery. I look forward to seeing you there. In this day and age where technology is so available, right? I'm talking into a camera right now. I got a microphone recording me. And when I post this, everybody in the world that can get a hold of YouTube videos pretty much can see or hear what I'm saying. And I'm under the impression, and this is without research or any back knowledge at all, just winging it like I always do. A lot of our government was put into place because we had a poor way of communicating. So we would have to have people communicate for us. And I feel like those days are kind of done. I mean, we probably still need something to represent us, but I don't believe it's one person anymore. I believe it needs to be a group of people. And the reason for this is because of the team. It's when you go backwards, and I don't mean the R word. I mean, well, maybe I do in a sense, because it does kind of retard us. It holds us back from going forward, and that's the definition of retarded. But it's just holding us back. It's keeping us in this good against bad, red against blue. I just don't understand why this is still necessary today. And that's why I want to bring it up. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else out there that feels the same way, that, voting for this one person to represent us all, it's crazy. And I don't think that this could happen overnight. And I don't think that, well, one, I don't really believe that this would ever happen, because it makes sense. And usually if something makes sense, it doesn't happen too often. I mean, that's just the way it is. Our government, our laws, everything's so screwed up and messy. And I blame that a lot on state to state stuff. The states take care of it. So each state is a little bit different than the next, which I get. I understand why it was that way. But it doesn't really seem like it has to be that way anymore. It seems like it's that way still because we want to hold on to these traditions. This is just my thoughts. I like to remind people of that. But, I mean, traditions, they're good, they're great, but they're old. I understand keeping traditions alive, but to what extent? I mean, I don't think I do much of anything that I traditionally did when I was young. I mean, we still get together for Thanksgiving. We still get together for Christmas. Some years it's over here. Some years it's over there. I'm sure this year is going to be completely different. For the most part, I think most of us are, sticking with immediate family and not going to any large gatherings such as comedy clubs or bars and stuff, as we all once were. I'm not saying I went to bars, but I went out. I did things. I went to restaurants, and, if I could get to a comedy show, I would. And if I could go do whatever, I would go do those things. And this year, it's not happening. I don't feel comfortable doing anything, and I don't want to do anything in a mask. So now that we're all everything's kind of shifting, what does this do to traditions and stuff, right? This kind of changes them. And, I'm also the type of person where if I've listened to a track, a music track, a bunch of times, then I don't need to hear it anymore. And you hear songs on the radio, the classic rock and this and that. It's the same songs that have been on for the last 20 years. And that's not something that excites me either. I don't get excited about that. I'm like, yep, I heard it, move on. Where when I was younger, it was much different for me. I used to love it. I'd play songs over and over again. I try to learn the words, and I do all kinds of stuff. But now I just listen to a song, and once the song's over, I might listen to it a couple more times so I can really understand what they're saying, because sometimes you miss things, just like in a movie. You watch it once, you see it, you watch it twice, you always see something you missed. So it's kind of like that for me for music too. And then I watch it or I listen to it, and then I'm done with it. And I like to move on to the next thing, or just move on to something else. And I bring this up because our government is old tradition. It's a lot of old laws. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe that our foundations are super... Sorry, my deviated septum is bothering me. Oh, it's itchy. Healing process. But everything is old, right? They're all like old laws. Old. And I feel like if you go through the laws and you read the new ones, a lot of them are piggybacking off of the old ones, so that the old ones almost exist, but they've kind of changed it to be with, more today's stuff and what's going on, and to be more relevant with us today. I think those things need to change, and they need to change more to coincide with what's going on today. Just having old laws in general is silly. Probably after 10 years, you may want to look back on that law and either eliminate it or update it, so that it makes more sense. I'm sure if you look in your state, you'll find some really old laws that are still existing today. And it's like, why would that even be a thing anymore? You know, why is that in our laws anymore? And they're there because that's what we've always done. This is how it's always been. Somebody new takes over. They try to clean up the old stuff. They do the best that they can. They add on to the older stuff, or they add some new stuff. And now it kind of becomes theirs, and then somebody else. And it's just this constant change of hands. And it's this constant, I want to do better than this guy. So whatever this guy did, I'm going to wipe out, and I'm going to redo it my way. And it's like, Jesus Christ, people. This makes everything so much more complicated, makes it harder on everybody that has to deal with this situation. And it's state to state, and it's the entire country as well. And that's why I'm trying to figure out why we need this one person to speak for all of us still, right? We've got all the technology to talk to each other now. So that means the guys that are supposed to be running the country have an easy way of communicating with each other. They have a better way of understanding each other. They're not, they could put videos up, talk to a room full of people. They could be on video. So you actually have a conversation with the person, just like I'm sitting here talking into this camera. You can see my facial expressions. You can see what's going on. And you can get a feel for the situation. So why can't we implement that more today, especially with the COVID thing, but it's just crazy to me. I just don't feel like we need one person. I feel like we need a group of people. And I'm not talking from the red side and the blue side. I'm saying eliminate both of them. I've always been a registered independent, which basically means I don't pick a side. I never do until I have to. And I will tell you, this is the first election where I feel like my hand is completely tied on these two candidates. I'm not going to get too much into it, but it sucks. It really, really sucks that I have to pick one or the other. And it's like, well, I don't like either of these guys. So why is it that we have to pick a team when each team sucks equally? And I know that's going to piss some people off. I don't care. I don't care. Because if you look at it as a big picture, both teams suck. And I feel like it's been this way for a long time. And now we're all just starting to talk about it. Because this is a joke. It's craziness. What has been happening, how the country has been run, how the country is running, and how the country is going to run in the future. It doesn't matter what side you pick at this point. It's uncertain. Either one you put in the chair, it doesn't matter. Which way is the economy going to go after this fucking COVID crisis passes us, and then the tsunami of fucking economic debt and all the people that really, really got affected by this virus, how those people are going to be. How's that going to be? So now that's going to be coming, that'll be close to the end of whoever gets chosen for this term, I believe, is when we're going to feel the tsunami from the COVID part of the economic crisis, I want to call it. Because we're in an economic crisis. We're in a virus crisis. We're in crisis. This country is just, well, we're suffering. It sucks. COVID completely blew everything up and showed us that everything that we have going on for us today is extremely fragile and could be gone at any moment. And so that's why I keep mentioning a group of people. Fuck red, fuck blue, let's go purple, right? Let's mix them together. Let's get a group of people that can see equally on both sides and then get together and make decisions for all of us so that it's not just this one person making these giant decisions. It's a group of people. And maybe we can make it so that we can get more involved with the group of people because now we all have a way to communicate. I don't have to give somebody a letter and they're going to get on horseback and go bring the letter over to this person and then read the letter to that person. So now this person understands what's going on and then they rinse and repeat and do the same thing. That's old. No one's doing that. God, mail is faster than that now. So why can't we change things? Why do these things always have to remain the same? That's my question. I think we should do the same state to state. Just like I believe that a lot of the stuff that's going on right now, as much as people don't like this, I think it should have been federally done. You know, we should have all been asked to wear masks in public areas. And if it was going to be a mandatory thing, it shouldn't have been a state to state thing because that gets confusing. It should have just been a federal thing. Marijuana legalization should be a federal thing. I understand the state to state. It's a great movement. I'm not knocking it. Trust me, I'm on board. I want it legalized just as much as the next person because it's stupid that so many people have suffered for it being illegal for so long. But the truth of the matter is, it's not technically legal until the federal government says it is. So stuff like that, big things, big important things, well, that should be a group of people telling the federal government that this is done. We're done doing this to the people. This is stupid. We now realize this is stupid, and we have to legalize this. And if, unfortunately, the people in jail for marijuana crimes should be set free, unless, of course, they committed another crime while they were locked up, which happens about 9 out of 10 times. So that's unfortunate. So I believe that's one of the reasons why you don't see as many releases as we would like to see, because unfortunately those people were put in there for a stupid cause, a false cause, and just a wrong reason. And then they get in trouble inside. And then those charges can still be upholded. So yeah, sure, you knock off the marijuana thing, but if they've gotten into a fight in there, there's time for that. If you smuggled something in, or you decided to make alcohol in your stall, in your jail cell there, then it's basically the size of a stall, technically smaller. But if you did something like that, that adds time. So unfortunately, I do believe that even though we're legalizing and possibly letting people out of jail for those minimal crimes, I don't think we see as many people get released because they may or may not have committed another crime while they were inside, which would add time to their sentence. And as much as I feel like that's wrong, because that would have never happened if they were in there in the first place, you can't say that it didn't happen. So that's one of my thoughts, and I believe that's one of the reasons why we don't see as many people getting released as I believe we should. But a group of people. No more voting on one person. Same with state to state. Smaller groups of people. So that when they need to bring a problem to the White House, now you got a group of people discussing these things, working on these things. And I say, I don't like how, and I'm guilty of this too, is not doing my homework and voting for people that can make decisions for you in your own state. So when a law shows up and you're like, oh man, that sounds like a good law, I want to get behind that. But then you get to the poll and that law is not there. And I was blinded to this and did not understand. But there's laws that get passed and then they get brought to the elected representative and they get to make a decision. Well, I say no. No more of that either. No more elected representation. We should be able to vote on everything that happens. I know we elect these people to make these decisions for us, but we need to stop doing that. Right? So that we're the first group. We're the first group of people, and we vote for the smaller group of people in our states, and then we vote for the bigger group of people in our White House. And then when the laws come through, well, then we get a vote, and then the group makes a final decision, or the group agrees with the people, and that's it. And I bet you we could free up a lot of the people that sit around and drag this out for their own purposes, I guess. There's reasons for them doing what they do, and there's reasons for them doing what they don't do. And whether they're getting paid by big corporations or I'll donate here if you do this. There's all kinds of washing hands and filling pockets, and we all know, especially if you're in your 40s like I am, we all know how dirty the government is, how dirty business is. I mean, you just know it's all filthy. And there's always one person at the top filling the pockets, dishing out the best that they can to the other people underneath them. And then everybody else gets nothing. And they work their asses off. And they die in these companies. And they die in general. And there's no care whatsoever, because at least the friggin' top people saved their 1% to 3% and got to buy a yacht. Who the fuck knows? Who cares? That's not important. The important part is that this is disgusting. And it's just old. It's all so old. And I don't get it. It's 2020. We got people saying that they they see themselves as animals, fictitious dragons, identifying. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. People identifying as dragons, dogs, cats, babies, women, men. So we live in a time where people are realizing that not only do they don't know, and let me hold on. It's not that they don't know who they are, but they're figuring it out, and they're realizing they're not what they thought they were or what they were told. You're a boy. Well, I feel like a girl, but you're a boy, and now they can be a girl. And that's great. That's a great thing. I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking anybody out there. I'm my own person, and nobody can tell me what I feel or think, and I can put it out here and I can say these things, but at the same time I realize that we are our own person. We are all individuals. Everybody is going to be different. Whether I agree or disagree shouldn't matter to you. I tell everybody all the time, you do what makes you happy. And if you're doing what makes you happy and it bothers people and they're putting you down for it, then they're probably just jealous, or they have insecurities themselves. And you need to chalk it up like I do. People put me down, I really don't give a shit anymore. I'm too old for it. Don't care. Doesn't bother me. But when I was younger, it bothered me a lot. And I thought I had to prove something to those people. And I didn't. I wasted my time and my energy trying to prove to them that I was somebody that they thought I was, or they said I was a specific way, and I was trying to prove to them I'm not. You don't have to do that. You just have to do what makes you happy. And if you're doing what makes you happy, then that's it. That's it. You just do that. But there's so many people out there today that are doing so many things. We're all deciding what type of people we are and what's going on, and we're changing things, and all these things are happening. And I think we're going to see more of that as time goes on, as we start opening our eyes to all the negative stuff that has happened in our past. And so if all of this is happening, why is our government still the same? It hasn't fucking changed in forever. It's the same old stuff, same old voting, same old crap. We're all sitting here trying to pick a side. And if you don't like my side, well, I'm not talking to you anymore. And that's one of the craziest things that I've seen happen during this is family members and friends not speaking anymore because of who they voted for back in 2016. That's insane, people. Those are your family members. Those are your friends. You should be able to have a conversation about who you are or not voting for without it turning into an argument where you are so strong about your point that you can't see it any other way. We need to open our eyes. We need to realize that there's more opportunity out there for a better solution to try and fix this fucking mess we're in. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine too. I get it. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. This is a thought I had fucking this weekend while I had some mushrooms and smoked a lot of pot. So I could be totally off base. I don't know. But it opened up my eyes. I thought about it for a while and I was like, man, why are we still doing this? What are we doing? Why can't this change? Why am I stuck between a rock and a hard place between two individuals? No matter the outcome, it's all going to be negative. And if you don't think that after Election Day, it's going to be chaos, those riots were nothing. I'm telling you, I'm a little worried. But we also have to remember with COVID, that's changed voting. So now we really can't look at the numbers after Election Day. They're going to show them to us. They're going to. They're going to show us those numbers after Election Day. The election won't be over Election Day because you still got people like me who are doing mail-in voting. That's right. I'm not going to the fucking polls. Screw you. Don't care. No way. I'm not standing in line. I'm not getting into crowds. I'm not doing it. So I am voting from home. And I did it for my primary too. I don't care. I feel more comfortable that way. So you can't change my mind. You can say whatever you want about it, but still don't care. So now you're going to wait for all the mail-in votes to come in. So that means a week or so after election will be our actual numbers. It's going to be chaos. As my friend put it this morning, we'll probably be waiting all of November to find out what actually happened. You know, who actually wins. I hope they figure it out faster than that. I mean, I've already got my mail, my stuff that I need to mail out. I just got to fill it out and mail it. So I'm going to try and get it out there a couple weeks early so that on Election Day, hopefully my mail-in vote will have already been counted. I don't know. I don't know if they're putting them in a giant box and they're not counting all those until a specific date. I don't know how this really works. All I know is I had the option to stay home and feel safe, so I took it. So it's just crazy, right? I mean, think about all this. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get people to think. Think about something new, something different, changing and cleaning up the laws. I really think our lawmakers need to go through the books and just be like, oh, this is way outdated. We don't need this anymore, or this is outdated, or this needs to change. And then there's other things where I think it needs to be federally guided so that it's just the same across the board, so that when you go from state to state, at least there's certain things you don't have to think about anymore. I mean, it is just crazy that you could be smoking pot and selling pot, buying pot, all in Massachusetts, no problem. And then you come up to New Hampshire, and yeah, sure, it's been decriminalized, but it's 3/4 of an ounce. Who the hell's going to a store that lives in New Hampshire and you're just going to buy 3/4 of an ounce? They only sell them in like half ounce and full ounce anyways. So it's like, oh, okay, great. So if I buy this full ounce and I get pulled over, now I'm in trouble. And it's like, that is so stupid. You know, live free or die. It's on our license plate. It means nothing. You know, I'm really glad New Hampshire hasn't attacked the vaping industry yet. And I'm really glad that we have not followed Massachusetts' lead on that. But why we're still sleeping on legalizing marijuana is beyond me. Why the government is still sleeping on it is beyond me. We just need to legalize it and get through this. So as you can see, I'm pretty torn on where to lean this year. I don't like picking teams. I didn't pick Team Pink and I didn't pick Team Blue. I grabbed both sets of beads. And then for voting, I feel the same way. I can't pick red and I can't pick blue. I'm a registered independent. Some elections I lean a little bit more red. Some elections I lean blue. I can never decide. I find it very, very difficult to do so. And I think we all should. I think we all should look at our team and just go, what the hell are we doing? You know? I mean, you can look at it from a sports aspect too. It doesn't matter whether or not the team wins or loses. People still flip cars and set them on fire. So, what are we doing? I understand the teams. I get that. You're voting for your sport. It's great. You're voting for your side. I get it. You feel better when you're in a group of people. What if the group of people were almost all on the same side? I mean, you can't do that for sports. That's fine. I'm not a big sports guy anyways. I mean, I love MMA. I like boxing. Not too big on football. Baseball is just something my grandfather used to watch, so I'm kind of into it. But if my team's playing, I don't get like super crazy excited. And that just might be me. You know, this is my own personal thing that I go through because I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand why you want to be on a team and why, if somebody is not seeing things the way that you see them, why you have to get angry. You got to yell at them. You got to scream. You cause fights. Neither one of you can see their side. And then all of a sudden someone's injured or dead, or the point never gets made because once it goes down the violent road, you're not making a point anymore. And I think that's my point. I feel like we're going down that road as a society. And I don't want to be on either team. I'm not fighting for either of them. So I definitely don't want to be part of the backlash on either side. You can't say it's going to be a grand old time if one wins, and it's going to be a grand old time if the other one wins. It's not. You're going to have a lot of angry people on both sides. And I think the sad part is I understand that. And as I say these thoughts out loud, I understand certain things can't change. Is that really true? Things can't change? People change. I changed. So if I can change, and I can try to better myself, and then I can try to help people better themselves by showing that I have failed, fucked up, done horrible things in my life, that I've come back from it, and I'm working on myself, and I'm being a better person, and I'm being positive, and I'm staying off of alcohol, and I'm doing all those things, well then it was possible to change, right? So if you can change as a person personally, and I think everybody can. I mean, if you looked at my track record when I was a teenager, it's not good. Keep watching the podcast, you'll find out more. I'm going to get it. I'm getting them all out there. I want every single one of my dark stories and the horrible things that I've done to come to light so that somebody can learn from my mistakes. Not because I'm proud of them or I want to throw them around, put them in a spotlight. No, they were horrible, stupid shit that I've done, and I had to learn a really, really hard way. And it cost me a ton of money, a lot of court time, a lot of missed birthdays, and it's not good. So if I can do it, Why can't we all do it? You know? And I started thinking about this because I'm still undecided on who I'm voting for. I really want to make that very clear. I am not trying to sway anybody's vote right now. But one of my things is Kamala Harris. I think I said it wrong again. But she used people to put herself up. And she put people in jail so that she could move ahead. And then, now she's saying she wants to decriminalize marijuana federally. The thing she was putting people in jail for, and I did look a little bit of this up, was marijuana. So, if I base my vote off of what she did to get herself to where she is, then am I just saying that people can't change too? Because if I know I can change, and I'm nowhere near the person I was when I was in my teens, nor my 20s, or my 30s, then why can't she change and make better decisions today? And I'm putting this out there because I feel like we all need to step back, take a look at what's going on, and think of things a little bit different. That one blew my mind this weekend because I've been talking about how people are changing and how all this cancel culture sucks, and that we're holding people accountable for shit that they did 20 years ago, and we're just trying to erase them and take them off of TV and do all these things. But then you look at the politicians, and I'm like, oh, I'm not voting for her because if he dies and she gets in office, it's going to be horrible because look at all the stuff she's done to people to better herself and put herself in a better position. But then I started looking at what she wanted to do today. And I was like, well, this doesn't coincide with anything that she was doing back then. So I read all the horrible stories of what she did in the past, and then I made her out to be the exact same person today. Well, doesn't that make me a hypocrite? So I had to really sit on that. I had to really think about it. And it's really, really made my decision tough because, on one hand, could vote him in again, right? And at least it'll be his last 4 years. Not a bad thought. Get him in, get him out, he's done. Right? Can't vote him in. Like I said, I want to stick with the basics of our government. I still want our foundation strong. And one of the things on our foundation is you can't serve more than 2 terms. And looked it up this morning. If he gets voted out and Biden wins, he can run again in 2024. Yep, you heard me right. He can only serve those 4 years if he wins. He'll be like 78. But I'm sure, shit can happen, right? We do not know the future. 2016 showed us that. So, if it is possible, you sway his way. Worst case scenario, he serves out 4 more, and then he's done. We never have to see him or hear him again unless he does a reboot of, what the hell was that show he did? You're fired. Anyway, small joke, sorry. So if he does that, he's out. He's done. If he loses, He could run again if he wanted to. I don't think he'd be capable of doing it, but he could. Because for some god-awful reason, and this is another thing that drives me absolutely crazy, there should be a minimum and a maximum, right? We got a minimum. 35 years of age, you can come on, you can be a president as long as you were born in the United States of America. And I think you have to be a college graduate. I think. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I feel like you should be a college grad. You know, I don't think I want to be a president. I wouldn't want me in that seat. You know, I could barely put words together. So, all those requirements are met. You're now running for president. You're 35. 40 years old, right? It's my age. Nobody's voting for you. You're too young. What the hell are you talking about? Why do we keep voting for these old dinosaurs? I feel like 70 should be your cap off. That's it. You got from 35 to 70. It's a 35-year window to become president. After that, you're done. Get out of here. Same with all of our shit. We've got people on the bench that are in their 80s. These people still think the food triangle is the way you're supposed to be eating. We all know the food triangle was false, or it was built upside down, something like that. But it's not the way it works anymore. And this is what I'm getting at. We're finding out that so much of the stuff that we thought was the way it's supposed to be, it's not. We're also finding out that the founder of America, Columbus, great guy, fucking murderer, killed how many fucking people? Too many. That's how many. But I don't think we need to eliminate Columbus Day. He probably doesn't deserve to have a day. So, yeah, I get it. It needs to change. But we can't forget about it. He founded America. Did he not? So, if this guy founded America, well, then that's what he should be known for, right? He should be known for finding America. Great. Cool. Here's all his back history. This is what he did to get us to where we are today. We wouldn't be on this lot of dirt if he didn't come over and do what he did. But we need to learn what he did. Does he deserve a day? No. But you can't wipe it out. And I guess you could call it Indigenous People Day. That's fine. But I also think that it should also be known as the day America was founded. Maybe it doesn't have to be Columbus Day anymore. You know, if I look up my history for my people, Northern European, and I got some Irish and some Norway and other bullshit in there. But I'm mostly Northern European. And if you look up the Northern European people that came over to America, well, we were all kind of cornered and pushed out of Spain, that area. And I'm a little bit off. I'm not going to look at my ancestry to see how inaccurate I am right now. But the basic history of it all was we were pushed out. We were either going to be killed or we needed to go. And we got out. My great-grandparents got out of there, landed somewhere in Maine, came down from Maine. Some of them came across the ocean and hit the middle, probably down by Florida, and then went over to like New Orleans. So, I mean, they kind of went to those two areas from where they came over the water, but they came over because they were being pushed out, they were being killed, and they were looked at as less than people. I think that's really important to know. This didn't just happen here. Now, granted, over there, I don't know if the person that did that or caused that to happen has got a statue or has a day on the calendar. I don't know. I don't care. No, it doesn't really bother me whether he does or he doesn't, or she, or it probably wasn't a she back then, that's for sure. And that's just according to history. The reason we're here today is because that man got lost in the ocean, sailed the wrong fucking way, went well across the ocean, more than he should have, landed on a patch of dirt, was so happy he was on the patch of dirt, he thought they were Indians in India. And it turns out he wasn't. He was right here in what we call now the United States of America. So we can't forget why we're here, why this happened, who started it. We don't have to put him on a pedestal, but we need to talk about it. We should talk about our history and our past, not trying to rub it out, right? So we don't want to wipe out our government. But we need to change it. We need to see and learn from our past and be like, man, this just doesn't work for today. Things need to change. Maybe there should be a cap on the age. Maybe it would be nicer to listen to the younger candidates and get some young blood in there. Because those are the people that are going to shape us. We always say the kids, the next generation, right? That's what's going to shape us. But that's not what shapes us. It's the older people. It's the 70s, the 60s, the 70s, and the 80-year-olds that are running our government. Now, granted, I know there are some young blood in there, but they still have to go against these people that have authority over them, or they've been there longer, so that they're looked at as the elder. So now you got to respect your elders, right? So that's what happens. That's how I feel. I feel like that's exactly what happens. Yeah, sure. We got, this group of people for the Senate, and half of them are 60 to 80, and then the other half are, say, in their 30s and 40s and maybe some 50s in there. And so you see it as a wide range of people. And yeah, sure, that makes a decent group, but not if the older people can't agree that what they used to know is no longer. And look at the new. Right? It's basically all the same. It's old. And it's not necessary anymore. And there's a lot of stuff that I feel that should change 100%. And it can't change 100% unless it goes through our federal government. And since the federal government's never going anywhere, can't say, oh, get rid of the federal government, we don't need them. That's never going to happen. I understand how important they are. They're just as important as our military. That's what keeps us safe, people. That's what keeps us all safe. All of this shit that we have keeps us safe. It keeps war off our streets. So I am thankful for all of that. But a lot of things are outdated and we need to change them. But I don't know if we're ever going to see those changes unless it goes bigger. To the federal government. Like they say, that's it, across the United States. But this is how I feel about it. I'm very torn about this election. I don't see either outcome being very positive at all. And it's just really got me thinking. It's got me thinking, what the hell are we doing? Our economy is crumbling. Our government is broken and fractured. Our country is divided more now than I think ever. And you can say, no, it was more divided back. No way. I don't believe it. There's more people today. So there's definitely a chance of it being more divided today than ever. And with today's technology, fear porn, and picking sides, it's just getting worse. It's just getting worse, and I think it needs to change. So, if I had the opportunity, I'd vote purple. I know this was a crazy episode, kind of what I was going for in a sense. Like I said, I had a really good weekend. My brain kind of took off, and I liked where it was going, so I figured I'd share it with you and see what you think. So, it's a little unhinged, but I just think everything needs to be thought about differently today. We need to think about everything as a whole and get away from these teams. But if your team wins, calm down. Just calm down. If your team loses, calm down again. Take what I said as a grain of salt. Just a little bit of food for thought. Kind of going off track here, but yeah, I just really thank everybody for watching, listening, subscribing, all of that jazz. Remember, talkinwithtopher at gmail.com if you want to comment. Maybe give me your 2 cents. Like I said, I'm looking for your involvement to start my new segment on this. It's where the audience gets involved. Really want to hear from you. And I thank all of you as always. If you know somebody who could benefit from my earlier episodes, show them, tell them about it, have them subscribe. And as always, I just appreciate all of you. And I hope this wasn't too crazy, but this is what we do. We talk about it, right? So again, I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you later.